welcome! Today I'm going to be preparing to plant some pea seeds. I've got an underbed storage box here and it has its clippy lid, of course, which is going to make a little mini greenhouse to start my peas off in. Now I'm starting quite early in the year because I have the luxury of a polytunnel and I will be planting them out into the polytunnel. If you're planting your peas out into your garden in the UK, I would wait at least a month yet before you start this process. In my big black tray, I've got some normal potting compost and I've been adding to that. I've also got myself a bag of, I've got some vermiculite and I've added a few scoops of that to my compost just to help keep it light and fluffy. I'm filling up little 3-inch pots with compost, levelling off the top and putting them in my clear box. A couple I've already done. So while I carry on filling in pots, we can take a look at how the rest of the garden is getting on. Out in the garden, the daffodils are starting to flower. So I've got the first of the early buds to bring indoors and enjoy. Is this 2 pots or 1? 2. Mix in some of the vermiculite. No specific volumes or quantities, just till it kind of looks nice to me. So yesterday I planted a few early potatoes in the polytunnel. Just about, I don't know, 9 I think. I don't grow very many potatoes in there because they grow perfectly well outdoors here in the UK, so it's not necessary to have them inside, but it's always lovely to have those first few early potatoes ready before anything else can be harvested. Most of my potatoes are still sat chitting, and I just took 2 from each variety I'm growing this year, along with 1 random huge jacket potato that was sprouting crazy in the cupboard. So I've planted that just for a bit of fun more than anything and see what it does. The seeds I planted last week, maybe it was 2 weeks ago, I can't remember. It was certainly February. So the apple pips are coming up like a little forest already, looking wonderful. Going to be a long wait, but I'm excited to see what sort of apples they might produce in the future. As I said when I planted them, if they're Ucky apples, it's quite alright. By then I'll have other trees and I can graft a nice tasty apple onto the Ucky apple rootstock. And the pomegranates are coming up as well, which is wonderful because I wasn't confident in them as they had been a pack of pomegranate seeds rather than seeds that I took out of an actual pomegranate. So I was a little hesitant as to how they would react. Having already been shelled, put in a plastic tub, no doubt kept in a supermarket fridge. But they're coming up wonderfully. Oh, another sign of early spring, I have some tadpoles. There was frog spawn in the pond, so I scooped up a small handful of them and popped them in a tub with an air bubbler, mainly as some fun for the grandson to watch and see them growing into little tiny frogs. But it's good fun for me too. It's lovely watching them grow and develop. If you look really closely, it's amazing how you can actually already see their little feathery gills. So we'll keep an eye on those as the weeks go on. Okay. All my orchids are flowering. Very exciting. So I've got my good old basic Phalaenopsis doing nicely. The roots on this thing are crazy. This is a photo of this orchid below its flower stem. They've got to be at least 2 feet long. Gonna need to find it a higher shelf or hang it from a basket. And the dendrobium is flowering as well. Anyone guess I quite like the pink ones? I don't mind orchids of any colour, they're all gorgeous. But with my pale coloured background walls, the creamy, white and yellow coloured ones just don't show up when they're flowering. So I go for the shocking pink colours because they look nice in the decor of my house. Now the peas that are going in these pots, I actually started preparing a week ago. So today I'm going to prepare some peas ready for planting. I've got a plastic container with a lid. It doesn't have to be a clear lid. It's good if you've got a clear lid, but if not, it just needs to be something you can seal up. And some sheets of kitchen paper. You can use newspaper, will work just as well for this. So yesterday I started my peas by putting some seeds in a little bowl and filling that bowl with water, which I'm about to drain out now. For 24 to 48 hours we'll soak our pea seeds in water, completely covered, lots of water for them to soak up as much as they want. Drain off the excess water. We can throw that away now, water the rest of the garden with it. And we have these nice fat plump little seeds instead of the hard dry shriveled ones we started with. Now with my plastic container I'm going to take 2 sheets folded in half of kitchen paper, and it's a little bit big for my box, so I'm just going to fold that excess bit underneath, and in we go. I'm going to get that wet with some water, soak it down well, enough to soak so every bit of paper towel is wet. You could, as I said, this could be done with newspaper, works just as well. And then we take our seeds and I'm going to scatter them gently onto that wet tissue. And then very gently, because although they're not soft, they're nice and delicate now, I want to spread them around on the surface of my wet paper. So there's no peas sitting on peas, there's just one flat layer of peas, and if you can, just a little bit of space between is good, but it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm then going to take a further 2 sheets of kitchen tissue and fold them up in exactly the same way and lay that on the surface of my box. There we go, tuck them into bed and pour some water on top. We want to get that nice and soaked as well, just like the sheet underneath. Now that's perfect. And then I'm going to pop on the lid. And clip it down. So every couple of days I'll take a look at my pea seeds and see how they're doing. We'll open up the box, I'll catch hold of the corner of my top layer of paper and peel that back, and we'll see what's going on in here, if they're sprouting any roots yet. So we'll be back in a couple of days and see how these are doing. Pop on the lid, and I'm just going to put these on the kitchen worktop so I see them every day and remember they're there. Don't put them on a hot sunny window ledge. A shady spot in the house is perfect. So once my box is full of all its lovely little pots, I'm ready to plant my pea seeds. Now, as I said, I started these beginning of the week. I'm not sure how many days ago, a while ago now. And they're actually not quite ready yet. Today I'll bring them up to you. We're just starting to get those little roots showing up. So when they've got a decent bit of root on them, and before they start growing little green shoots, each pea with a root, I'll lift it out the tub, have its root pointing downwards of course. I like to plant 3 or 4 in each of my little pots. So I'll use my baby finger, you could use a pencil or a garden dibber, just dent a hole and pop my pea in. I'll come up to you. So I have my little hole with my finger in a pot, take my pea with its root and very delicately, root side down, just plop it in the hole and cover it over. And I'll do the same, as I say, 3 or 4 in each pot, depending how many seeds I've got that need planting up. Now I have different varieties of peas I'm preparing here. So I'm not going to label them Early Onward and Kelvin's Wonder, they're all mixed together. I'm just going to pop a label on these that say pea, because that's what they are, they're peas. All my different varieties all mixed together. So I'll plant up the ones that have little roots on them today, and I'll leave the rest all covered up for a few more days, and when they're ready I'll pot them up as well. So once my pots are all full of little tiny rooting peas, so I'll mist the tops to keep them all nice and moist. I'll put the lid on to keep all that moisture in and keep the cats out. I'll place this on a table in front of a window. The window's not essential for the first couple of days, just until the little green shoots start showing up. But once you get that tip of green, these need to see the daylight so they can be growing strong and healthy. And we'll take a look at them again when they start sprouting little green sprouts. So that's my peas all started. I like starting them off this way. It gives them a nice early start. I can keep a close eye on them and see how they're getting on. And I know I'm only planting pea shoots that are viable and growing, because quite often if you put them straight in the pots, you'll get quite a few just rot and turn to mush. I'm also going to use the same method for planting my broad beans. Again, you're in a funny place today, I'll come up close to you. So these broad beans have been soaking in this dish possibly 3 days now actually. They take a lot longer to lose that dried up wrinkliness because it's a bigger, fatter seed, so it has more water to absorb to plump it up. So these are nice and fat and plump and bean shaped now. So I shall be laying them out in a plastic box with a kitchen tissue, just the same as I've done with my peas. And when they start to sprout and get little roots, I shall pot them up. So just 1 bean in each little pot, because it's a big fat seed and it'll need more space to grow. I think that's us for today, our little garden update. So bye for now, and we'll see you next time. If you've enjoyed the garden update, don't forget to click that like button and let me know. Click subscribe and YouTube will make sure you see my next video. So bye for now, and we'll see you next time. And don't forget, whatever you're doing, have fun doing it.